Hey guys, it's Troy. On yesterday's video, gave you my ranking of Eastern Conference teams and how I think that they're gonna finish in the standings for this NBA season. Well, today, time for Western Conference teams, going from worst to first, who's gonna finish last in the Western Conference, all the way to who's gonna be the #1 seed in that conference. So if you haven't checked out the Eastern Conference video, make sure you do that. I will put the link right above here. And if it's your first time here, make sure you subscribe to this channel. This channel is growing like crazy, huge. And also make sure you like the video too, going for 222 likes on this video. Okay, so number 15, gonna be the Oklahoma City Thunder, OKC. And I like what OKC has done this offseason. I think they're really setting themselves up well to be a major player in the NBA in the coming years, but they just don't have the talent to make a lot of noise this NBA season. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's going to get tons of touches, he's going to score lots of points, have him on your fantasy team, but otherwise, you know, they got Lou Dort for defense, they got some nice veterans in Trevor Ariza and Al Horford, but other than that, just a lot of guys who they're going to be building up for the future. They're going to have lots of draft picks coming on down the line. Really excited to see how Aleksej Pokusevski does for this Oklahoma City Thunder team. He'll be fun to watch. But other than that, OKC number 15. For the 14th ranked team in the Western Conference this season, going with the Sacramento Kings. And what is this going to be, like 14 straight years now of them not making the playoffs? Man, oh man. I mean, of course, they got De'Aaron Fox. They got Buddy Hield. They got Marvin Bagley. So, you know, on paper, they have lots of talent, but I think there's an issue with coaching. I think there's an issue in kind of what the identity of this team is. I like what they've done with Tyrese Halliburton, that draft pick. I think the Hassan Whiteside signing was pretty good value. But other than that, you know, it's going to be another, I think, lost season for the Sacramento Kings, and would not surprise me if they somehow trade Buddy Hield during some point this season too, because I think he's just getting more and more unhappy the longer that he's in Sacramento. So for number 13th ranked team in the Western Conference, going to be the Minnesota Timberwolves. And yeah, they've got all-stars in D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns. And they've got a nice scorer in Malik Beasley. They've got nice backup point guard in Ricky Rubio, probably the best backup point guard in the entire NBA. They got Anthony Edwards with the #1 overall pick. Maybe Jared Culver can show them a little something for his sophomore season. But even with Towns and Russell, I'm really not too high on the Timberwolves for this season. My next team, ranked number 12, is the San Antonio Spurs. Yeah, they've got Greg Popovich. They've got some former All-Stars and LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan. They even have some nice scoring in Rudy Gay, Patty Mills. I think Keldon Johnson is going to be somebody nice down the line. DeJounte Murray is a pretty capable point guard. They drafted Devin Vassell. Still, though, I don't see them even sniffing the playoffs in the Western Conference and finishing toward the bottom of the standings. They're a team that's going to play hard every night, but I just don't think they have the talent for the long haul. My 11th place team in the Western Conference this year is the New Orleans Pelicans. They're going to be a fun team to watch because they've got Lonzo. They've got Ingram. They've got Zion. They did that nice trade for Steven Adams. I really like the shooting of JJ Redick off the bench. I think Eric Bledsoe is going to be a nice backcourt partner along with Lonzo. But again, like the Spurs, the Western Conference is just too tough. Don't see them winning a ton of games. They're still very young. They are going to be an exciting team to watch, though, and it's not going to be too many more seasons before we don't have them in this playoff race. And same with the number 10th ranked team in the Western Conference this year, the Memphis Grizzlies, #901, #grit and grind, because we've got the Grizzlies with Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., Jonas Valanciunas, Justice Winslow, if he can ever be healthy. But this is a really nice team. Brandon Clark coming off the bench. Got guys like DeAnthony Melton, who they just signed to a contract extension. Tyus Jones, one of the better backup point guards in the league. Love what they did in the draft with Xavier Tillman and Desmond Bane. They have Michael Porter Jr.'s little brother for way back in the back bench depth. So this is going to be probably the last season that we talk about the Grizzlies not really being in the conversation for a playoff seed. They're a really nice team, and Memphis fans, like yours truly, very excited about what the future holds, but this year have them ranked number 10 in the Western Conference. Number 9 team in the Western Conference I've got as the Houston Rockets, and you know, in any other year, this could be maybe a top 3, top 4 team in the West, but so much turmoil with the Houston Rockets right now, and that begins and ends with James Harden. Just the other day, the news came out how he's yelling at teammates, how he threw a ball at a teammate in practice. I don't know what's going to happen with the Rockets, but I think they're going to be trading Harden sooner rather than later. I even did a video on it. But at point guard, they've got John Wall. They signed Christian Wood, which I think is a pretty good signing. Excited to see what they have with DeMarcus Cousins at the 5 spot. Then they have that shooting with Daniel House, Eric Gordon, Ben McLemore. They even got Kenyon Martin's son on this roster. So deep team, they can do a lot of things, but I just think there's too much going on internally to where this team is going to make a lot of noise this NBA season. Number 8 ranked team in the Western Conference I've got as the Utah Jazz, and when the Utah Jazz is the number 8 team in the Western Conference, then you know this is a really strong conference this year. Of course, they've got Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell at those guard spots, Bogdanovich, Gobert up front, Joe Ingles doing Joe Ingles kind of things. They re-signed Derek Favors, they re-signed Jordan Clarkson, they've got Shaquille Harrison in free agency also. All really nice free agent signings. Their defense, as always, is going to be on point. I think they're going to score a lot of points, but it's going to be a really tough Western Conference, so I've got them as the number 8 ranked team. Number 7 ranked team is the Phoenix Suns, led by their new point guard, Chris Paul, who's going to be teaming up with the new big 3 in the NBA of Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. I like the Jay Crowder signing they did in the offseason. Re-signed Dario Saric, who can play backup 4, small ball backup 5. Excited to see what kind of lineup changes they can do with Jalen Smith, who they drafted in the lottery. But I think this is going to be the year when Phoenix finally makes it back to the playoffs. Devin Booker making it to the playoffs for the first time in his career. The bright future Suns are as bright as ever. 6th ranked team in the Western Conference, in my opinion, this year is the Portland Trail Blazers. I think this team had a fantastic offseason. One of the best off seasons, not only in the Western Conference, but in the entire NBA. Of course, you've got Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum holding down things at the guard spots. They re-signed Carmelo Anthony. They made that trade for Robert Covington. They've got Yusuf Nurkic fully healthy for an entire year. This bench depth, though, looking really, really good. Rodney Hood, Gary Trent Jr., Enes Kanter, Harry Giles, one of the most underrated signings of this offseason. Zach Collins, who is going to come back healthy at some point, give you some nice depth at that 4 and 5 spot. Haven't even talked about Derrick Jones Jr., the athletic freak himself, and Nasir Little, who was a star in high school and could be something still in the NBA. Portland, number 6 seed in the Western Conference. On to the top 5 teams now, and at number 5, I've got the Golden State Warriors. So after a year of just being at the bottom of the barrel last season, they're finally back into the playoffs and gunning for that home court advantage. So, of course, we got Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Kelly Oubre, Draymond Green, James Wiseman should be the starters. So looking a little bit different this year because you don't have Klay Thompson again due to that injury. But when Curry is your main engine on a team, he could be back to MVP form. He's going to be scoring. I've got him scoring about 25 points per game. Some folks are saying he could score closer to 30 and just draining threes left and right. I think he'll be on a little bit of a minutes restriction and maybe not play in back-to-backs, maybe have some load management here and there. But the bench looking okay too. Brad Wanamaker, Kent Bazemore backing up the guard spots. Eric Pascal had a really nice rookie season. He could be the secret weapon for this team when it's all said and done. Marquise Chris, Kevon Looney, Alan Smiley-Geach. Smiley-Geach isn't going to do much, but whenever you can say Smiley-Geach in a video, you got to do it. Golden State Warriors, number 5 ranked team in the Western Conference. For number 4, very controversial pick here, I'm going with the Lakers, and a big reason for that is because LeBron and Anthony Davis aren't going to play the entire season because they're going to be sitting out some games for rest, for injury, for load management. This is a team that is going to be built for the playoffs and just going to be gunning to make some noise in the playoffs and in the postseason. They had a nice offseason too with Dennis Schroeder, Marc Gasol, re-signed Markieff Morris. They got Montrezl Harrell from the Clippers. They signed Wesley Matthews. They just re-signed Kyle Kuzma to that nice extension. And let's talk about Talen Horton-Tucker, THT. Is he now officially the 3rd best player on the Lakers? Could be. Lakers, number 4 ranked team in the Western Conference. Number 3 ranked team in the Western Conference, Luka and the Dallas Mavericks. Whenever you have Luka on your team, who I think is going to be MVP this season, then you're going to have an awesome team. Oh man, to have Luka on your team. How nice is that? So they have Luka, of course. They have Kristaps Porzingis for the games that he is going to play. Who knows how many that's going to be. They've got Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Richardson, Josh Green. I think those are the only Joshes on the team, but they still got Boban. They got Maxi Kleber. They got Dorian Finney-Smith. Really deep team. Nice at the guard spots, too, with Jalen Brunson, Tyrell Terry, who they drafted. So way to go, Dallas. Got you as the number ranked 3 team in the Western Conference. For the number 2 ranked team, I've got the Denver Nuggets, and they're going to make some noise again this NBA season after maybe surprising some folks last year, but no more surprises this time around. Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Nikola Jokic, MPJ, really nice team. Really deep team, too, because they re-signed Paul Millsap. They have Monty Morris, Bol, going to be taking the league by storm. Even have JaMychal Green out there. So looking like a nice team for the Denver Nuggets. They're going to score a lot of points. Mike Malone, always going to have them playing hard each night. Nikola Jokic, another potential MVP candidate. Best passing center out there since Arvydas Sabonis. I like what the Nuggets have going on. And for the number 1 team in the Western Conference this season, LA Clippers with Kawhi, with Paul George, with no longer Doc Rivers at the helm. They've got Ty Lue now. They've got Serge Ibaka, who they signed away from Toronto during the offseason. Luke Kennard to give them some 3-point shooting. Who knows, maybe even Nick Batum may have a resurgence with the Clippers. On paper, this is the best team in the Western Conference. Of course, you're going to have Paul George and Kawhi sitting out some games for load management or injury or rest, whatever you want to call it. But I have them gunning for the number 1 seed. So, of course, at the end of this video, I got to give you my Western Conference Finals prediction for this season. I have the Lakers over the Clippers in 7 games, Battle of LA, and I think it's going to be LeBron and Anthony Davis one more time. Hey, that's going to do it for today's video. Make sure you like the video, going for 222 likes. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, NBA content all the time. Would love to have you be a part of this channel right along with me. Got the boxes on the screen right here. Make sure you click on those to show your support for the channel. Gonna have a new video here in a few days, but until then, have a good one, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. This is Troy, and I'll see you next time.